Вороженьки, як слава, сонці запанує ми, браття, у своїм сторонці, душу тіло.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть москалам!
Україна!
Вона Руса!
Україна!
Вона Руса!
Україна!
Вона Руса!
Героям України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Thank you, NAFO fellas, who came here today
To show support
for our Ukrainian cause and to show opposition to this Russian embassy right here, to the Muscovite embassy actually, as I hope it will be called in the future. If they actually use their real name, the real name of modern day Russia, which is Moscow. It's how they started with Ivan the Terrible and eventually decided to change the name to Russia to identify themselves more with the Kievan Rus, which was their predecessor. And the Kievan Rus, as the name implies, had its capital in Kiev. So all of these points made by the Muscovites, by the Russian terrorist regime, are completely nullified by that fact. And Putin knows this, but truth does not matter to the Russian terrorist regime, my friends. And that is why we are here today. We are here to tell the truth to people all over the world, so that people know, so that people are well informed about the issue going on right now in Ukraine. This war that was not even declared, but was started anyway, without even a declaration of war. Keep in mind that before the Russians invaded Ukraine, they claimed that they would never invade. They screamed and shouted and called out supposed Western propaganda, as they call it. And they said they would never do it. They said that any mention that they might actually invade Ukraine was Western propaganda. But what happened in the end? In the end, they invaded anyway, my friends. And that is why we cannot trust the Russian terrorist regime. There have been many attempts of negotiating with them in the past. Every single one of those attempts has ended in failure. Ukraine needs to be secure from the Russian terrorist regime. And you know, one of those banners, that banner over there, is one of the best ways to secure Ukraine from the Russian terrorist regime. Not NAFO in particular, but NAFO is one of the organizations that is helping out Ukraine a lot. Thanks for that. But NATO itself, the organization on which we are based. Yeah. So here we are. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Put him to jail. Special tribunal now. That's pretty interesting. Send Putin to jail. Yeah, let's turn it the other way around though, guys, so that the cars see it, so everyone sees it, because like this only we will see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's lovely. That's a very good one, actually. Man, you guys really are missing out. You need to come to our rallies. This is really good. This is pretty good, man. Very professional.
Orange is the red, is the new red, is the new white, blue and red.
Over here. Just let's give the passage for other people who want to come through. Because this message, as we all know, my friends, is important for everyone. Not just for Ukrainians, not just for Russians themselves, because they are getting sent as cannon fodder to Ukraine to fight a war they have nothing to do with. This is Putin's war, and Putin is using Russia as his personal meat puppet to send it against Ukraine. The Russians are cannibalizing their own economy right now to continue this war, to keep this war going. The world needs to know about this. And the world needs to know that we cannot trust the current Russian government. We have heard many times these voices of peace, these voices of supposed peace. But in the end, they have given us no solutions to our problems. How will we achieve this peace? This peace that they claim is easy to achieve. By negotiating with Russia, by giving away Ukrainian territory to Russia. Has that not happened in the past? The Ukrainian people were willing of normalizing relations with the Russian terrorist regime even after Ukraine had already lost some regions to them after the 2014 invasion, when the Russians themselves have betrayed both the Minsk agreement and attacked the Ukrainian people again. This proves and this shows they will never stop until they are finally defeated in Ukraine. That is the only way for us to end this war once and for all. Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia. Stop the war.
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia. Stop the war.
Stop Russia, stop the war.
Stop Russia. Stop the war.
Help Ukraine, protect peace.
Help Ukraine. Protect peace.
Help Ukraine, protect peace.
Help Ukraine. Protect peace.
Help Ukraine, protect peace.
Help Ukraine. Protect peace.
Russia is a terrorist state.
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 There's an ancient saying that we very often say in our rallies at 10 Downing Street whenever they happen. Arms keep peace. What does this really mean? Does this mean that you build buildings and plow fields with swords and shields? No, my friends. It means you use those swords and shields, you use those air defense weapons, those fighter jets to defend yourself against attacks of psychopathic terrorist regimes who are there to take away everything from you. Just like the Russian terrorist regime is trying to take everything away from the Ukrainian people. That is what we must show the whole world. That is what's going on right now. And that is what we are going to stop together. The world needs to realize what's going on right now. Terrorist regimes like Russia, like North Korea, and like Iran are supporting their own proxies in order to attack the free world, in order to destabilize the free world, in order to end the dominance of the free world, the dominance of the West on this planet. We say no to that. Because people do not leave good countries to go live in worse countries. People do not move to a different country to be oppressed. And that is why so many people are trying to leave North Korea, Iran, and Russia nowadays. And so many people are failing because those countries are preventing their people from leaving and living better lives. That, my friends, is reality. And that is the reality we have to deal with. Because Russia is not an isolationist country. Russia is an expansionistic, country-sized military, in this case criminal syndicate. Absolutely, there were many good German people in World War II.
And they did nothing.
Exactly, exactly. But my friends, sometimes to prevent the greater evil from prevailing, good people suffer. And good people are suffering in Ukraine right now.
Putin do deserve to be in jail.
Sure.
And he deserves even worse.
How are you going to do it? What's your solution? How are you going to
I
make
do
it?
not have one.
You don't have one? Okay, that's fine.
All I'm saying is, you know,
Did you say
there's good and bad everywhere.
Okay, so if you're part Moroccan, how did Morocco get its
Don't put the whole country
Remind me.
responsible
Was that entirely violence free?
for one guy.
My friend, when the Nazis
That's
started
what I'm
World
saying.
War II, Germany was partitioned.
Because I
All of Germany suffered when they lost World War II.
Hold
Hold on. You cannot hold back your punches. You cannot hold back your punches
thing is,
when there's a psychopathic regime, when there's a terrorist regime coming to kill you. You need to put them down for good. That's what you have to do. That's what we have to do with the Russian terrorist regime.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, there's many Russian people against.
But so what? Those people are
They
suffering
haven't
too.
done anything about it.
Some of them have, but those people are suffering. And also for their sake, we
So
stand here
instead of
to
saying
end
Russians,
Putin's rule. No, we won't stop saying Russians. Because Putin represents Russia. And the vast majority of Russians are depoliticized. They're not involved in politics. They're not opposing Putin. They're not doing anything.
I was in Mariupol. I didn't ask
My mum-
200,000
my mum works-
Russians
my
came
mum
across
works with the Ukraine.
200,000 Russians
My
came
mum
across the
works
border.
with-
I didn't ask them to come.
I understand.
If Putin really wants peace, he can just.
That's okay, man. Look, we don't have to keep saying I'm sorry or whatever. We need to give solutions. We need to come up with actual solutions to fix this issue, to stop this war, to end this conflict, to stop this issue.
All of them that get mobilised, yeah, if they don't want to fight, it's a
I'm not
$50
defending
fucking
them.
fine.
I'm not
It's 3 months in
defending
jail.
Yeah,
It's
well,
nothing. It's
until
dirt work,
here's a
For what?
here's
They
a
won't
solution.
kill
Well,
Ukrainians. It's just difficult.
until Russians get rid of Putin. In the meantime, We cannot just wait for the next Russian revolution. We must arm Ukraine as you promised. Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.
Arm Ukraine as you promised.